Tchouaméni, the wall of Real Madrid who is not for sale. Real Madrid has once again made its position in the transfer market crystal clear. Aurélien Tchouaméni is untouchable. Over the past few weeks, different intermediaries and several major European clubs, including some Premier League giants with massive financial resources, have quietly tested the waters, inquiring about his contractual situation and whether there might be any chance of signing the French midfielder. However, the answer from Madrid's board has been firm and unequivocal. There will be no negotiations, and the player is not leaving the Santiago Bernabéu under any circumstances. Florentino Perez and José Ángel Sánchez, the main decision-makers in Madrid's sporting department, have been aligned in sending a powerful message. Tchouaméni is not only a key player but also a long-term strategic investment. In a transfer market dominated by astronomical fees and unpredictable moves, Real Madrid wants to secure its sporting future with one certainty. The stability of their midfield depends on Tchouaméni. From prospect to untouchable core piece. Aurélien Tchouaméni has gone from being a young prospect to establishing himself as one of the most influential players in Real Madrid's midfield in an incredibly short period of time. His progress has been so evident that both Florentino Perez and head coach Xabi Alonso see him as an absolute cornerstone of the club's present and future. Alonso, who has begun his coaching project in Madrid with ambition, charisma, and the tactical clarity that defined him as a player, has placed Tchouaméni at the very heart of his plans. For Xabi, the Frenchman's intelligence, physical dominance, and strategic vision make him the perfect holding midfielder to maintain balance throughout the season. Within the coach's tactical framework, Tchouaméni is not only a pivot, but also the man who dictates tempo and balances transitions between defense and attack. Versatility and maturity beyond his years. Since his arrival, the French international has displayed a competitive maturity, adaptability, and consistency that belie his age. He can operate as a pure defensive pivot, a deep-lying playmaker, or even as a pressing anchor higher up the pitch. That versatility makes him a treasure for any manager and one of the key reasons why Madrid deems him non-transferable. His game is defined by quick decision-making, anticipation in ball recovery, and a quiet leadership presence in the dressing room that has impressed even the veterans. He is far more than just a physical powerhouse. He is someone who understands the rhythm of the game, who reads situations intelligently, and who adds authority even when the ball is not at his feet. For these reasons, club officials are adamant that selling him would be a strategic mistake of enormous proportions, especially in a market where midfielders with his skill set are increasingly rare and highly coveted. Defensive shield, offensive asset. Real Madrid values both his defensive contributions, ball recoveries, rhythm control, shielding the backline, and constant cover, and his offensive qualities. Tchouaméni is not limited to breaking up opposition play. He is also capable of joining attacks, distributing the ball with precision, and creating overloads in key areas of the pitch. In high-stakes matches, his presence has been decisive in freeing up teammates like Bellingham, Valverde, and Camavinga, who can fully unleash their offensive firepower thanks to the stability provided by the Frenchman. Gradually, he has also shown a sharper long-range strike and an instinct for arriving in the box at key moments, which adds yet another valuable dimension to his game. Commitment to the badge. Another quality the club holds in high regard is Tchouaméni's unwavering commitment to the project. From the very first day, he has displayed professionalism, respect, and a flawless attitude both on and off the pitch. He has stayed clear of controversies, never entertained rumors of dissatisfaction, and consistently put the team's goals ahead of individual accolades. For a club like Real Madrid, which seeks not only talent but also personalities that embody its demanding values, this attitude is priceless. His seamless integration into a locker room full of superstars, his humility in learning from veterans, and his willingness to contribute in any way possible have made him indispensable. A sporting and strategic decision. In short, the club's stance is beyond doubt. Aurélien Tchouaméni is not for sale. He is an irreplaceable piece, a long-term investment that guarantees both competitiveness and trophies. For the Madrid fanbase, his continuity represents stability, security, and ambition. Keeping him is not just a sporting decision, it is also a strategic move ensuring that Real Madrid remains a dominant force in all competitions for years to come. In a footballing landscape where money can disrupt any project, Madrid's message is emphatic. Some players have no price tag, and Tchouaméni is one of them. The Frenchman, who has already won over the fans with his commanding presence and disciplined style of play, perfectly embodies the blend of talent, work ethic, and long-term projection that Real Madrid needs to lead European football into the next decade. Juanlu, the young fullback who has captured the hearts of Xavi Alonso and Real Madrid. Real Madrid has set its sights on one of the most exciting rising stars in Spanish football, Juanlu Sánchez, currently playing for Sevilla FC and one of the brightest gems of the Andalusian academy. At just 21 years old, the young right-back has managed to establish himself in the elite of Spanish football, moving quickly from being a promising youth player to a proven performer in La Liga. His rise has been meteoric. In just 2 seasons he went from playing occasional minutes to becoming a fundamental piece in Sevilla's lineup, showing a maturity beyond his years and a competitive edge that has drawn attention from some of Europe's biggest clubs, above all, Real Madrid. What makes Juanlu special is his blend of offensive and defensive qualities, which sets him apart from many fullbacks of his generation. Offensively, he excels with his powerful overlapping runs, his ability to support wingers, and his intelligence in delivering crosses into the box. Defensively, he shows impressive strength in one-on-one duels and remarkable tactical discipline, which allow him to be a well-rounded defender. His athletic build and stamina give him an extra edge, perfectly suited for modern football where fullbacks are expected to cover the entire flank tirelessly for 90 minutes. It is no coincidence that Xavi Alonso, the current Real Madrid manager, has given the green light to the operation. Alonso believes Juanlu is exactly the profile needed to reinforce a position that has sparked debate among Madridistas in recent years. Dani Carvajal, a symbol of the club and the undisputed reference at right-back for over a decade, is entering the stage of his career where a reliable successor must be secured. Previous attempts, such as Alvaro Odriozola or even Lucas Vazquez's temporary reconversion to the role, have offered short-term solutions but never truly consolidated as long-term answers. In this context, a young fullback with both present quality and future projection seems to perfectly fit the club's roadmap. Sources close to the player reveal that Juanlu does not hide his dream of wearing the famous white shirt. For any Spanish footballer, joining Real Madrid represents the ultimate aspiration, and for Juanlu it would also mean the opportunity to grow surrounded by world-class stars in a project that blends youth with experience better than most clubs in Europe. Florentino Perez, always mindful of balancing Galactico signings with homegrown or national talent, sees this potential signing as more than just a sporting decision. It would reinforce the squad, yes, but it would also send a powerful message to the market. Real Madrid continues to bet on young Spanish talents who can contribute immediately while growing into long-term pillars of the team. On Sevilla's side, the situation is far from simple. The Andalusian club considers Juanlu one of its most valuable assets, not only for his present contribution but also for his potential to bring in significant revenue in the future. Monchi, the legendary sporting director of Sevilla, has always championed the philosophy that academy players must serve 2 purposes: to strengthen the first team and, when the time is right, to become financial resources that sustain the club's long-term stability. In this sense, pressure from Real Madrid could force an offer that is difficult to turn down, though Sevilla will make every effort to retain their homegrown star. Madrid's interest in Juanlu is neither casual nor opportunistic. The club's scouting department has been monitoring him closely over recent months, evaluating his performances not only in La Liga but also with Spain's youth national teams. There, Juanlu has also stood out, becoming a key figure in the under-21 side and impressing observers with his maturity and understated leadership. The combination of youth, talent, and competitive experience makes him a highly valuable strategic investment. From a tactical perspective, Juanlu fits seamlessly into the idea of dynamic, vertical football that Alonso wants to implement at Real Madrid. His ability to push forward and create width on the right flank would open new offensive options, while his defensive reliability ensures the team maintains balance, something crucial for a side that constantly attacks and often plays on the edge. In other words, his signing would not merely fill a gap but actively enhance one of the most important positions for the team's overall playing style. Inside the dressing room, his arrival would also inject fresh energy. Young signings at Real Madrid often bring hunger, ambition, and a competitive mentality that help maintain the squad's intensity in a team expected to fight for every trophy. Juanlu, with his personality and his proven ability to step up in high-pressure situations, seems to possess the DNA required to thrive in a club where every match is treated like a final. Beyond the sporting side, the transfer would carry a symbolic and strategic dimension. Bringing in a young Spanish player with such projection would reinforce the club's commitment to homegrown and national talent, something that has historically been a cornerstone of Real Madrid's identity. In the past, players like Iker Casillas, Sergio Ramos, Dani Carvajal, and Nacho served as proof that the club doesn't only rely on international stars but also invests in local players who understand the meaning of wearing the badge. Juanlu could be the next name added to that legacy. In short, the Juanlu Sanchez case goes far beyond a simple market rumor. His potential transfer would be a statement of intent, a Real Madrid that thinks about the present without ever neglecting the future, a club determined to preserve its dominance in Spain and Europe by investing in young, competitive talent with room to grow. Above all, it would confirm that the club sees in the Sevilla fullback not just another signing, but a key piece to build the next decade of success at right back in the Santiago Bernabéu. Real Madrid plans a masterstroke against Barca with Bargi's signing. Real Madrid, always alert to opportunities in the transfer market and determined to maintain its dominance in European football, is reportedly planning a move that could immediately shake up the competitive landscape and create a real shockwave at its historic rival, FC Barcelona. Sources close to the club indicate that President Florentino Perez is working quietly but with a very well-defined strategy to try to secure the signing of Rooney Bargi, the young Swedish prodigy who joined Barcelona just months ago from FC Copenhagen. Bargi's name has already been on the radar of Europe's top clubs. From his early appearances in the Danish Superliga, the attacker caught the attention of scouts and sporting directors across the continent thanks to a rare combination of talent, confidence, and finishing ability. At just 19 years old, he has already stood out in international competitions such as the Champions League, proving that his football transcends his age. His ability to beat opponents one-on-one, explosive pace, and exceptional vision in the final third make him one of the most coveted profiles on the market. At Valdebebas, Real Madrid sporting management and coach Carlo Ancelotti, who remains actively involved in squad planning, believe Bargi would fit perfectly into the club's sporting project. His youth is not seen as a limitation but rather as an asset. In recent years, the club has shown a remarkable ability to bet on young talents who then become indispensable players, as seen with Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo Goes, Eduardo Camavinga, and Jude Bellingham. Bargi would be the natural continuation of this policy, enabling Madrid to stay ahead of direct rivals and secure talent that will flourish under the demands of the Santiago Bernabéu. What makes this move particularly remarkable is the strategic context. Barcelona, struggling financially and undergoing a sporting reconstruction, is still uncertain about the best approach for the young Swede. Inside the Camp Nou offices, debates continue about whether to loan him for regular playing time, integrate him immediately into the first team despite heavy competition in attack, or develop him more gradually. This uncertainty contrasts sharply with Real Madrid's determination to act quickly, providing Bargi with a clear path to elite football. From the White Club's perspective, the operation is not only of clear sporting value but also carries significant psychological and symbolic weight. Snatching a young prospect from the eternal rival, right after they signed him, would deal a direct blow to Barca's morale and demonstrate Madrid's market dominance. History shows Madrid has executed moves of this caliber before. The iconic signing of Luis Figo in 2000 is still remembered as one of the most impactful transfers in modern football history. Moreover, Bargi is not just a short-term solution. His youth guarantees long-term potential. With room to grow tactically and physically but already possessing undeniable natural talent, he could become a key offensive figure for the next decade. Real Madrid values especially his competitive mindset, discipline, and maturity, qualities that align perfectly with the club's high standards and the winning mentality required at the Bernabéu. If completed, the transfer would send a clear message to the European football scene. Real Madrid remains the most ambitious club, the one setting the market pace, always a step ahead of rivals. For Florentino Perez, the move fits seamlessly into his philosophy of securing tomorrow's stars today, ensuring that the club not only competes now but also dominates in the future. For Barcelona, losing Bargi before fully integrating him would be a severe setback. After investing in the player and raising fans' expectations, seeing him move to their historic rival would represent a major sporting and institutional blow, comparable to the most painful episodes in the club's recent history. In short, if Real Madrid succeeds in signing Rooney Bargi, the club would not only strengthen its squad with one of Europe's most promising young talents but also reaffirm its ability to outmaneuver rivals in the boardroom before battles are even fought on the pitch. It would undoubtedly be one of the most talked-about moves of this transfer window and a clear demonstration that the White Club continues to set the pace in world football, both on and off the field.